Buenos dias from Laos Point. This is the Rorschach Argentina update from the 12th of September, 2024. Quick summary of what's going down in Argentina. A massive smoke cloud coming from the wildfires in Bolivia is expected to cover parts of Argentina this week, including 15 provinces and potentially the Buenos Aires metropolitan area. Bolivia has declared a national emergency as fires ravage over almost 4 million hectares, or 10 million acres, of land, with significant impacts on biodiversity and air quality. All efforts to control the fires, including international assistance, have been largely ineffective so far. The smoke is already affecting visibility in northern Argentine cities like Formosa and Corrientes, and the National Meteorological Service warns of potential disruptions to daily life. Their recommendations include staying indoors and protecting your respiratory and eye health. Speaking of smoke, an explosive device detonated at the Argentine Rural Society's headquarters in Buenos Aires on Thursday the 5th. The package exploded upon opening, emitting smoke, but luckily didn't cause serious injuries. However, some people needed medical attention for smoke inhalation. Authorities are investigating the incident. They initially detained a man and then released him after confirming he was not the person caught on surveillance footage. The Argentine Rural Society has not speculated on the motives behind the attack. Moving on to economics. Inflation in Buenos Aires hit 4% in August, slightly lower than July's 5%. So far, in 2024, inflation has accumulated almost 107%. The main drivers of this increase were transportation, housing, utilities, food, and healthcare. An article by Bloomberg indicates that Argentines have significantly increased their dollar deposits in banks since December, with totals rising 40% to almost $20 billion, the highest since late 2019. This surge is attributed to the current administration's tax amnesty program, which allows citizens to bring previously hidden cash into the banking system without penalty. While the influx helps bolster the central bank's reserves, the total remains far below past peaks. In other news, Aerolíneas Argentinas is launching red-eye flights at reduced prices to 5 popular destinations, including Bariloche, Iguazu, and Salta. Starting the 31st of October, these flights will run between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., departing from Buenos Aires Aeroparque. One-way fares start at around 18,000 pesos, about $14 at the parallel exchange rate, for Iguazu and Bariloche, with slightly higher prices for Salta, Trelew, and Comodoro Rivadavia. After recent drops in domestic air travel, the airline hopes to attract more passengers by competing with low-cost airlines and long-distance buses, offering a more affordable option for travelers with flexible schedules. By the way, the Pro Party has introduced a bill to privatize Aerolíneas Argentinas, citing the airline's financial losses and political misuse. They argue that taxpayers fund the carrier, but only wealthier passengers can afford to fly, making it inefficient and uncompetitive against low-cost airlines like Flybondi and JetSmart. The proposal comes after several employee strikes disrupted flights, with union tensions peaking in August. While President Milei supports privatization, recent legislative moves left Aerolíneas off the official list of state companies to be sold, though the government has loosened regulations to encourage more competition in the airline industry. Back to the topic of Bariloche. A 27-year-old woman from Scotland died after being caught in an avalanche on Mount Lopez, a popular hiking area near Bariloche. 2 Argentine nationals who were with her survived, one suffering from hypothermia. They managed to call for help while trapped under the snow. Moving on, a Croatian ship got stuck in the Paraná waterway due to low water levels, halting river traffic for 12 hours over the weekend. The vessel was carrying 30,000 tons of soybeans to Turkey, which exceeded the maximum allowed draft for the river. The good news is that Paraguay and Argentina have come to an agreement over the tolls Argentina charges for using the Paraguay-Paraná waterway. Starting now, the provisional toll of $1.20 per ton will be in place for 6 months. The authorities have established a system to refund ship owners who overpaid the previous rate of $1.47 per ton since February 2023. That said, the low water levels will continue to force barges to reduce their cargo loads and may further impact the economies of both countries. From one type of business to another, Mercado Libre announced a $75 million investment in a new logistics center in La Matanza, set to open by the end of 2025. This project is expected to create 2,300 jobs and double the company's storage capacity, allowing them to process 200,000 products daily and improve delivery times across Argentina. The announcement took place during a visit by President Milei. Founder Marcos Galperin welcomed him to the company's Buenos Aires offices and expressed support for Milei's pro-business policies. This visit also follows recent tensions between Mercado Libre and Argentine banks, with the company accusing banks of anti-competitive practices aimed at harming its payment platform, Mercado Pago. A topic that's not on the president's agenda, though, is science. In a recent speech at the Madrid Forum in Buenos Aires, the president criticized Argentina's state party, which he described as a coalition of politicians, unions, businesses, and even scientists, accusing them of using public funds for personal gain. The event, organized by right-wing figures, featured Milei railing against public funding for scientific research and defending his cuts to education and pensions. These days, the former president seems to be making the news as frequently as Javier Milei. Alberto Fernandez is facing charges of abuse of authority for allegedly prolonging the COVID-19 lockdown for political reasons between 2020 and 2021. The case was initiated after former economy minister Martín Guzmán said in a recent interview that the lockdown lasted longer than necessary, suggesting it became a political tool to bolster the government. This adds to Fernandez's legal troubles, including accusations of domestic violence and mishandling state contracts during his presidency. On that note about contracts, the AFIP, Argentina's tax agency, just scrapped the requirement for employers to report work-related telegrams or formal notifications from employees or unions. Previously, employers in Argentina were required to report any formal notifications, often related to disputes or claims. This change ends the use of the telegramas laborales digital service, which previously stored copies of these communications. You may want to get your hands on a copy of one of Mariana Enriquez's books, because the Argentine writer has won the prestigious José Donoso Ibero-American Literature Prize. The jury praised Enriquez for her uncompromising dedication to literature and her innovative prose, which delves into the darkest aspects of contemporary life. She also is celebrated for revitalizing horror and contributing to Latin American Gothic fiction. Some of her well-known works include The Dangers of Smoking in Bed and Our Share of Night. Speaking of wins, the national men's football team secured a 3-0 victory against Chile in the 2026 World Cup qualifier. However, they also fell 2-1 to Colombia in a heated match. Despite the loss, Argentina stays on top of the standings, Lionel Messi set to return for the next match against Venezuela in October. That's not it for sports. Argentina's blind football team, Los Murciélagos, won a silver medal at the 2024 Paris Paralympics after a tough final against France. This marks their 5th Paralympic silver and adds to their already impressive history, including their 2023 World Championship victory. A recommendation before we go. A new series about Queen Maxima of the Netherlands is now streaming on Max. The series dives into Maxima's early life in Argentina, including her family and education, and offers an interesting glimpse of Argentina during the 90s and 2000s. It also touches on delicate topics like her father's role in the military dictatorship. And that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in to the Rorschach Argentina update. You can connect with us on social media as @Rorschach_ARG on Twitter or @Rorschach_Argentina on Instagram. Nos vemos la próxima semana.